Welcome, peeps. Today we're exploring the world of AI art, and by that I mean that I will be borrowing some AI art from Pinterest and redrawing it, whilst you are forced to sit here and listen to me yapping, whilst I'll also be practicing drawing anime, as the stuff I drew in the past is kinda. And I do want to say I've seen some really good posts made by other artists here on YouTube, so I'll put them up here on the screen, and I think you should probably go and check it out afterwards if you feel up to it. But before we dive into this, I just want to address three things. Firstly, I want to say thank you for 4,000 people sticking around and checking out my art. I was so surprised when I saw people actually coming to see my stuff and enjoying it, and I'm really happy that you're here. So I hope you keep sticking around, and I hope you enjoy what I continue to make, hopefully. And secondly, yes, my mic is really bad, but I will be buying another one in the future, or I plan to, if people enjoy these talking videos, because I don't want to have you, if you're listening to this, I don't want to have you be forced to grater your ears to listen to my ramblings. But if you don't like voiceover videos, I will be uploading my Speedpaint without my voiceover and just with the sound and the drawing. So if you like that, you can go and check that out instead of this video. And lastly, are you maybe noticing anything different? Yes, I made a little PNG buddy to try and represent me for these videos. I feel like it would be way too much work to animate or illustrate everything when I'm talking, so I think this is a way faster and cheaper way to do it. Although this one I made to try and learn the program, so there are some stuff that I would want to change with it, but hopefully it works for now. I added a little clown nose for, those goofy moments, silly moments. But there are a bunch of other stuff I want to add, so I will be doing that for my final PNG tuber character that I will probably be using whilst I'm streaming, because that's the future plan, I think. Just streaming whilst I'm doing my art. Anyways, I will stop yapping about this and start yapping about AI art. So, jumping straight into it, I went to Pinterest to try and look for some AI art to copy, and honestly, it's getting harder to figure out what is AI art and what isn't, because before, AI art had this reputation of looking cursed, where like fingers would be merging with each other and eyes would be disappearing, but now I feel like it's gotten way harder to spot something that is AI and isn't. There's still some telltale signs, like hands looking wonky and hair going into like fabric and or the skin of the person, and sometimes also the pupils looking in the wrong direction. But it is getting better, so it is getting harder to actually spot when something is AI, which is kind of scary. That's the future, I guess. So while scouring Pinterest, I found this painting, and at first I was a bit unsure if it was AI art, because it does have that AI style that a lot of them have. It was kind of hard to spot, but then I saw the mouth under the bubblegum, and that's when I realized, because if the mouth actually looked like what it is presenting itself as, it would kind of look like this. And yeah, it could be an art style, but probably just AI not understanding where the mouth is. I also chose this one specifically because I feel like it will help me just focus on the anime style, quote unquote, as it's not as much going on as other like more detailed pieces, I guess. So I could actually just focus on trying to do anime style, and I mean, it was really fun to try and like replicate. Anyways, let's just get into it. Okay, so I started it using the symmetry tool for sketching because the actual AI drawing seems to be mostly symmetrical, specifically the face. So I just wanted to make it easier for myself. And I just tried to work on the eyes first because that's the hardest part for me with anime, I feel like. I've always had difficulties with the anime style because it's so detailed, and I have a hard time focusing on something for longer than like 2 hours. After that, I'm like, I'm done. I need to be done and can start a new thing, which isn't that good. I'm getting better at it, but whilst I'm just drawing for myself, I have a hard time doing details. I'll obviously do details for work stuff, but yeah, doing stuff like this can be really hard for me. But I will say this one was actually fun because I feel like it helps to have a reference that I can just copy completely. I mean, it's bad usually to copy, and it's not like I'm gonna be selling this or anything, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. It's more like a study. And it is also AI, so technically the AI has already copied someone else. So it's like, a big circle of copying. But yeah, I think it kind of helps me with getting better at just doing a complete copy of the drawing, because otherwise I keep wanting to do, when I usually take inspiration from stuff, I want to do my own spin on it, but I feel like then I don't really learn anything from it. I just keep doing my own spin and I don't gain anything from it. So I think this actually is quite good in just helping me grow in my art journey, I think. Also, yes, I am doing the classic artist thing where I'm just drawing one eye and copy pasting the other one when I'm finished. I know it's lazy. I can't be bothered. In the beginning here, I tried to add pink makeup. I kind of switched it afterwards because it didn't really work. And I also kind of wanted to stick more to the original AI art thingy. Oh, also, I had such a problem with the bubblegum. Jesus Christ. That one was actually really annoying to work with. But yeah, I've always had a problem with doing anime eyes. I feel like they're so detailed, and I feel like I always muddy them, if you get what I mean. Like, they don't come out as clear as I would like them to be. Because I feel like there's some amazing illustrators that draw a whole world in the eyes of their characters, whilst I just draw like the pupil and maybe a spot for the highlight, and that's it. That's a wrap. And also, the eyelashes always look super wonky. Looks like I stuck on fake eyelashes on the drawing, which is not the look I was going for, I'm gonna be honest. Speaking of AI art, I was on Twitter a couple days ago and I got on my feed somebody complaining about AI art copying them. And I mean, that, like, it's usual. I was like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, that's like become so like the norm. But then I saw in the replies that somebody called out that they were actually also an AI artist. And then I realized that this AI artist had gotten copied by another AI artist. And it was kind of ironic, I think, that they were like going rage mode in the comments about how it's not fair to copy them, whilst, they're copying. But yeah, it was interesting to see, and they were really defensive in the comments. I guess you kind of have to be defensive if you're like an AI artist right now, because you're kind of in the hot seat. So that's understandable in its own way, but it was kind of funny. Kind of like, I wouldn't say karma, I don't know, just dumb. Oh yeah, also, I started doing like this shading thing with the skin, where I do a bit of a bluish tint on the top and more yellowish on the bottom, and then yeah, obviously blush. And I think it kind of worked. I do like that style, and I'm gonna try and keep like mastering it. I do want to add more details though, because I feel like usually when I do anime styles, I feel like specifically with skin, I make it so airbrushed where it kind of becomes boring. But I don't really know how else to do it, so if there's anyone who's like super into doing anime style stuff with more detailed skin, or if you know like a tutorial, please send it to me or just write in the comments, because I really want to be able to do more detailed skin that looks like nice and doesn't look like I've aged my character up 20 years. But yeah. Oh yeah, also one thing I hate doing is anime hair. My god, because there's so much detail in the hair, and I feel like if you do one strand wrong, it just ruins the whole hair. And yeah, I tried doing like just following how the AI had done the hair here. I think I should probably do another study of AI art, but specifically on AI art hair, or maybe just do a normal study. Maybe I don't have to copy AI art. I don't know why I just focus on that. But yeah, it looks a bit weird. But I do like how the face kind of turned out here. There's some stuff it's lacking, but otherwise I think it's like working, kinda. I don't want to toot my own horn, but another thing I wanted to mention was as I've been starting to sell more on Etsy, I'm scouring Etsy a lot to just check stuff out, and I'm specifically focusing on Twitch overlay stuff. And my god, there's so much AI art being sold there, like an insane amount. And the AI stuff is getting sold so much, like by so many people are buying it, and it is kind of disheartening when you're like spending hours making stuff. I'm working on a Twitch overlay animation thing, and it took me days. And then you see someone doing the same thing probably in like a couple hours with AI art, which kind of, I mean, you know what? Good for them. Get that money, get that bag. But kind of sucks for me. But yeah. Oh yeah, the eyebrows are kind of strong. Um, I was trying to work with the reference, but they don't look that good in my opinion. But yeah. I made the scale smaller because I'm lazy. Literally just explanation for any time I do less stuff and less details. I got lazy, honestly, and I ended up just making it smaller, so I didn't have to do as much work. I also ended up not doing the details on the hoodie because I feel like it would have taken too long, and I was more so focusing on studying the face and how to make that work. So yeah, I kind of didn't go as hard on that. Hopefully it's not too bad. Lastly, in the end, I chose not to do the plasters, the hard plaster thingies on the cheeks. I don't know if it is supposed to be plasters, but that's kind of what I thought it was. I think that's what the AI was going for too, but I didn't really know how to make it work without looking out of place, so I chose to just remove it to make it easier. But otherwise, I think I will leave you to the last couple of minutes of this speed paint in silence, and then I'll be back for the second one where I'm doing more of a freestyle and less of a direct copy. And there we have it. This is the finished product. I added a bit of a pinkish reddish tint to it as a final touch. I do like how it turned out. I know I could have added way more details, but I think this was a good exercise. And in the future, I'm going to be adding more details when I'm doing original works. But anyways, let's just dive straight into the second drawing. This is the reference I decided to use. I really liked the composition and I liked the character design. Although in the end I ended up just doing a portrait, I wanted to actually make a full drawing with the character, but then I realized that that will take like 1 or 2 days, which is time I don't have. So I just ended up doing a portrait for the video. So, on to the next speed paint. I accidentally didn't click the record button on OBS, so I missed the beginning of my sketching phase. But I don't think it really matters because all you missed was me redoing the body and face over and over again because I was unhappy with how it looked. I ended up with this as my final sketch, and I mean, it's alright. I do regret choosing a character design that has a lot of fabric because I am not good at drawing fabric. So it was really frustrating to redraw it over and over again and trying to make it work. But I guess that's kind of also the point of me just doing this practice. Here I try to do a anime eye style where the eyelashes merge in a bit with the skin color, and I actually like how it turned out. I usually, as mentioned before, hate how I do eyelashes, but I do enjoy how these turn out. I still have a lot to learn about how to actually make the eyes look appealing, but I'm fine with how this turned out. For being the two first anime-esque drawings I've done in a while, I think they turned out okay. I do think I could have spent way more time on rendering, but after a while I realized that it's no point because in the end I'm just drawing these to practice, so it would be a lot of wasted time. And I already spent quite a lot of time on this one specifically. I think at least like 5 or 6 hours because I kept redoing stuff over and over again. Here you can see me struggling with the veil. I tried re-rendering it over and over again with different colors, different types of styles of rendering. I looked up some other people's art to see how they did it, and in the end I just chose to do similar colors to the original work, but I do actually make a change later on the colors, which you will see later. But this and the hair was probably the hardest part of the drawing, I think. I had a hard time deciding which hair color the hair should have. I was choosing between making it more gray or more blonde, but it ended up being more gray in the end, and I kind of like how the bangs turned out, but I still have a lot to learn. But the bangs were such a time drainer because I kept redoing them over and over again. Because I never felt like the color was right, and I felt like the strands were looking out of place, so I just had to keep remaking them and retrying. But that's like part of the learning process, I guess. So hopefully in the future, I now know what I did like and what I didn't like, and I can just keep practicing on doing that instead. I do want to learn how to do super clean anime renders because I really enjoy the ones where it's super polished, and I want to be able to do that like I've seen other people do on Twitter. But that's in the future because I'm still working on and learning, so it's gonna be a while before I can do those super nice clean ones. I wanted to try and do something with adding a strong highlight, and I think it kind of worked. The eyelashes that are hidden by the highlight is kind of wonky, but otherwise I think it kind of worked. Sadly, the veil ended up looking a bit like a fisherman hat, I think, and I can't unsee it after I thought about it. I think I should have made the hat part of the veil connect to the lower part, even if that went against the original design, because it looks a bit weird like this, and I think it would have worked way better if I just connected them. But you live and you learn. I also ended up not adding any background because I felt like if I were to actually try it, I would just spend 2 more hours trying to get it right. But now I kind of regret it because I think I could have made a simpler, blurry background where it's like a garden. But now I feel like there's no point as I've already done the speed paint and I really want to just start working on other stuff because I've been working on this video for like 4 days. I also ended up not rendering the clothes and the ears as I said before, spending way too much time on this. I was getting frustrated with not being able to make the lace look right, so I just gave up in the end. I still think it was a good exercise and I did learn stuff from doing this, but I also know now that I have to practice on making hair, clothes, eyes, everything. I need to practice way more. It sometimes frustrates me when I'm filming these speed paints. I feel like it just shows how unsure I am about where I should be going with the drawing and what rendering style I should go with. And then I see other people who do amazing speed paints where you can see that they're really sure about where they're going to go. They know the end product that they want to make, and it makes me a bit insecure, I think. But I also want to upload stuff without feeling this weight of wanting to be perfect. So that's why I'm trying to do this video now. I ended up making it a bit more wider. I don't know if that looks better or not, but it just felt like the robe had this piss color and I couldn't make it work. So I'd rather just make it white and live with that instead of redoing it again. It doesn't really fit the reference, but I think it looks better in the end. As I was drawing, I realized that the ears in the reference don't really make sense. I mean, that's obviously an AI thing, but it looks like they're part of the hat. Maybe they're supposed to be a part of the hat and I just misunderstood. But I chose to try and hide the opening of where the ears would have been coming out of to try and make it make sense and use the flowers, the roses, to hide it even more. The roses are super under rendered, similarly to the outfit, and the ears. But I think this must have been like hour 5 or 6 where I was just running on willpower at this point and not wanting to drop this drawing as I like the face, but everything else just would not work like I wanted to. Which kind of goes into the meme that I showed before, where I usually my motivation drops super fast if I feel like I can't make something work. If I redo it over and over again and it just won't turn out good, it makes me so stressed and it removes all fun from drawing it. And I don't even feel like finishing it then because I'm not going to be happy with the end result either way, which is a bad practice because I know that the number one tip that I see other creators give here on YouTube and elsewhere is that just finish the drawing. Even if you don't like it, just finish it. So you still learn from it instead of stopping as soon as stuff gets difficult. But that's my vice. My vice is that I stop when stuff gets difficult instead of pushing through. and now we're finished. Damn, this video ended up quite long. If you've actually stuck through the whole video, I commend you. I hope it isn't too boring, but please give me your feedback in the comments if you have any. My next video will be of me redrawing old art, I think, or maybe just a silent speed paint because the editing took so long and it's not even that good. Jesus Christ. Anyways, thank you again for watching. I will see you in my next video. Have a lovely week and bye.